getting pretty good at the Zoom stuff, even though I have like multiple screens going and my iPhone and everything else. All right, we're live on both, so. Mary Beth, do we need to make Andy and Christy panelists? Will they be speaking or just you?
They won't be speaking. They just want to observe.
Okay.
But if during the course, I don't think they'll need to speak, but during the course of it, would they just raise their hand and?
Yeah. And I'll bump them over.
All right.
Hey, Jeff.
Hey, how's it going?
Good. How are you?
Good. Had a nice meeting for 2 hours already on Zoom. Nothing like Brian, a 4-hour long meeting, or thank goodness.
It's death.
So we have 1, 2, 3, 4. Danny.
Yeah.
Is our lawyer here?
No, Jeff's not going to be on. I told him there wasn't any reason for him to be here.
Uh-oh.
So hopefully we don't. Be careful what you say. So
Yep.
we'll have
Man,
to reel you back in if we need to.
that's it. Been watching all these mayor shows.
Yeah. Yeah.
Amazing Zoom. I wonder what's going to happen when we get back to whatever normal is, with Zoom.
People just stare up into space instead of looking at each other in the eye.
Sounds like prison.
Yeah.
Look past people while you talk, see
Yeah.
what's going on. What's happening? Well, I feel like I've studied for 3 weeks. This is exam night, and I don't want to make any mistakes, but
I'm here for you.
thank you. So Brian, did you cancel your trip to Texas or getting ready to fly in?
Luckily I was there a couple weeks ago, so that's all right. But I got trips to other states that aren't as cold coming up.
Right. I never thought I'd talk about Texas as being like a frozen tundra. Maybe North Texas, yeah, Amarillo or something like that. But
It was funny when I was in Houston, they were like, wow, it's kind of unseasonably cold. And it was like 60,
yeah.
and I was going unseasonably cold. It was, 40 in the morning, something like that. But yeah, it's really unseasonably cold now, unfortunately for them.
Oh, yeah. And the animals, man, all the farming. my friend, he has chickens for laying, selling eggs. But he lost power. They don't have, they're running out of feed because you can't get, the food delivery, co-ops and stuff. So I saw a picture of his wife busting up the pond for the cows to drink out of. Looked like you could ice skate on it. That's just incredible.
Yeah, no, it's awful. I've talked to, I sell for a couple of companies that are out of Texas, and I talk to them just about every day, and it's just awful.
Yeah.
I think I saw a picture of somebody's backyard pool and they had put all their outdoor furniture on top of the pool because it was all frozen over in Texas. Oh my God.
Ice skate to your furniture. Wow. Yeah.
Any word from Danny?
He just sent me a text message saying Office 365 won't let him in to get the email. So I just texted it to him. Hopefully he'll get on here in a sec. There we go. There you go.
All right.
Sorry, folks. I had a little problem logging in, but I'm here. Thank you for your patience.
No problem. I've
Welcome.
been there, done that. So, all right, let's call the meeting to order at 7:05 p.m. and join me in the Pledge of Allegiance. I don't know where your flag is, but
Here.
all right. I pledge allegiance
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
All right. Okay, so roll call, please.
Councilmember Baker,
Here.
Councilmember Cartwright. Councilmember Cartwright,
Here.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz,
Here.
Councilmember Nisley,
Here.
Mayor Duncan.
Here. So I suppose we should open it for public comment at this time.
Right. So for the folks listening in, if you have a public comment, you'll need to hit the raise my hand button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. That'll let you let us know that you have a public comment. If you're on the phone, you'll need to hit star 9 to raise your hand. We'll give it a couple seconds here to make sure the folks are caught up if they're watching on Zoom. It doesn't look like we have anything, Mr. Mayor.
Okay, I just wanted to open up, put this out there for discussion. I was thinking that maybe we could choose the chair and vice chairs for the committees, get those all done, and then come back and go through and appoint our public appointments to committees. What do you all think about that? Just
Fine with me.
You're the boss.
Yeah, I wish. No, I don't wish, no. All right, so okay, let's start off with that. Sean, do you and Mary Beth have any issues with that, or?
No, that sounds fine. Before you do move into that agenda item though, we'll need to have a motion to adopt the
Oh.
agenda so we can actually get moved into that.
Okay, all right. So do I have a motion to adopt the agenda?
I'll make a motion.
I'll second.
Okay, a motion and a second. Let's have a roll call.
Councilmember Clark-Kretz,
Aye.
Councilmember Baker,
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley,
Aye.
Mayor Duncan.
Aye. Okay,
And then, so I'm going to turn it over to Mary Beth for the for this item. But before we do that, I wanted to note, I spoke with the attorney on kind of the process you can follow. We both agreed, and as long as council's okay with this, I'd recommend that you go through, make the appointments that you'd like to make. And then at the end of all of that, do one motion to adopt those appointments instead of doing motion by motion by motion, just to help keep my sanity a little bit straighter, and Mary Beth's as well, probably. So,
yes. No, that's a great idea. Thank you.
sure. So I'll turn it over to Mary Beth and she'll lead this item for us.
Good evening, Mayor and council members, and I thank you so much for taking a special meeting for this evening and being here for the committee selections for our general plan update elements. Tonight, what we're asking you to do is appoint the remaining general plan committee members. Many committees, we've already placed the housing committee, so we have 8 additional committees to select, including the subcommittees. So as you know, I'll take it from the top and just say, as you're aware, we began outreach for volunteers to serve on general plan update committees back in August of 2020. The December 8th meeting, town council meeting, totally joined the housing committee with the additional 2 members as a result of the new council members. So housing is assigned. What we're looking tonight, and I provided in your packet, beginning on page 3, the various committees and the structures of those committees. So what at Jeff's direction, what we're going to ask you to do is appoint the chairman, which is a council member, and a vice chairman, which is a planning commissioner for each of the committees. The odd part is, say, on land use. Land use has its own committee, but there's various subcommittees. And staff's recommendation is whoever is chosen as chairman and vice chairman of the land use committee also serve on the subcommittees to keep it more accurate for the whole process going forward. So then when you float down into the actual members, if there's a member, say that wants, you know, there's some people that chose every element in every subcommittee, but if there's somebody you feel that wants land use but is also interested in the other subcategories, they can serve as one member for all of it, or you can pick them specifically for land use and separate subcommittee members aside from that. So land use would be the biggest opportunity for the most people. I think when I did the math, it was 49 people could serve on land use and subcommittees. And that's okay. We're set to handle that way. All our meetings will be done via Zoom due to COVID. But in general, each committee and subcommittee will have 9 members. So we'll kind of take it from there. We also have the opportunity for the committee chairman and vice chairman that are selected to appoint non-voting auxiliary members. So they can live in town, they can live outside of town, they don't have a vote, but they definitely have a say. We have to be mindful that we don't load the committee up with a quorum of planning commissioners or a quorum of council members. That would create a problem going forward with that committee's recommendation to the planning commission once that committee is done. So we got to kind of juggle all these little balls. So if there's already 2 planning commissioners on a committee, but there's another planning commissioner that you would like on a committee, then they could be a non-voting member and just a participatory person, I believe. Sean, you can correct me if I'm wrong on that. But yeah, okay. So auxiliary members, non-voting, and that gets us to the chairman, vice chairman, 5 committee members, and then the 2 auxiliary members. So a total of 9 persons.
And then just for clarification on the auxiliary members, council doesn't have a motion on those because they'll be appointed separately by the chairman and the vice chairman once the vice chairman and the chairman are selected by council. But council tonight doesn't need to vote on those auxiliary members because they're non-voting members. Council doesn't need to vote on them.
Okay. Okay, very good.
Also regarding the committee scheduling, our meetings have been scheduled out for 6 months, regular dates, regular times. Those may change based on the members serving on a committee. So, you know, just these are not hardcore dates and times. It's going to be at the best opportunity for everybody involved to attend. All of the meetings are recorded. So let's say you happen to miss one, you'll be able to go back and at least watch it and, you know, see what happened and, you know, stay in step with the committee. We don't expect everybody to attend everything, but, you know, we can shift that schedule. If, you know, somebody's booked during the day and they get off work at 5, we can move those meetings to an evening meeting and still accommodate everybody. So with that being said, I'm turning my page to page number 3 of 8 in your staff report. And we can kind of go down that sheet and see how far we get. As that page 3 starts, it indicates the housing committee members. So the next or the first committee up for appointment, and Jeff, you wanted to do the chairman and vice chairman, so we can go through each of those committees and select those.
Yeah, I would like that if that's okay with the council. Yeah, I think that'd be efficient to me. So, okay, so the first picks would be for the circulation committee, and I think we have someone who sits on a PCTPA board that might be a good candidate for to serve as the chairperson. I don't know if I can make the nomination or yeah, Brian Baker.
Good choice.
Yeah. Hey. I think it'd be a good idea to have you on that. So, and I don't know, I'd like to see Mike Hogan, since that's his business that he takes care of, would be able to vice chair that with you.
It's a great choice.
Thank you.
We're going to wait till the end.
Oh, go ahead.
I was going to say, since we're going to wait till the end to do a motion and second on all of this stuff, it might be good on the committee, on the chairmen or the vice chairmen, just have a nod of heads. Everybody good with those? All right.
Okay. Very good. All right, so moving on to the second committee would be environmental justice, and I'll give someone else the opportunity to, if someone would like to serve or volunteer to serve as well.
How about you, Jenny? You want to do environmental justice?
I will be glad to be wherever we need me to be. So yes, that'd be fine. So we can make a suggestion for the planning commissioner too, or is that coming from mayor?
No, you can make
Anybody can. Anybody can.
So I would like to suggest Bonnie London.
Good choice, yeah.
I'm good with that. Okay. All right, let's go to the land use committee assignments. Now, this is the big one, since it goes with the land use and the subcommittees that are land use. And I would like to see Jan on that, because that's a lot of work. And
So Jenny's saying you didn't have enough going on.
she likes to work, right?
Bring it on. Absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay, so everybody's good with that. How about the vice chair?
I think
Well, Bonnie would be able to, you think she would be able to do that?
can she be the planning commissioner? Because she's my pick for planning commissioner. So I don't think she can be is that right? Can she?
Linda Kelly wouldn't be bad.
Pardon me?
I said Linda Kelly would do a good job there on land use.
Linda had sent in some requests to be on certain committees, so I'm not sure if she.
I think she specifically just wanted the Parks and Rec of land use.
Public facilities.
Public services.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Public.
So
I don't think there is any requirement that says Bonnie can't be just because she's your pick.
okay. Is that all right with everybody, and Sean and Mary Beth? Is that?
Yeah, there's not like a conflict or anything if for her to serve alongside you. There's no conflict with that.
Okay, I think that'd work well then, if everybody's all right with that. Okay.
And just, Bonnie was just selected for environmental justice. I don't see any conflicts or overburden from environmental justice. So it's not like you're loading her up. Environmental justice is kind of a down and dirty thing. One meeting. Land use will be intensive.
Yes. Okay, so then that brings us all the way down to, well, let's see, economic development is under land use as well, right?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, so now we get down to the public services. Is that correct?
Yes.
Public services, facilities, and finance. I think Danny has some experience in finance. Don't you? Yeah. He's offering people up, like
You're on a roll.
yeah. So
I think Linda was Linda interested in this, I believe.
yeah, I saw her
Yeah.
email, or
Yes.
Mary Beth email.
So Danny and Linda. Okay.
Is that good? That's good with me.
And if I can just get clarification for land use, the chairman and vice chair will also serve for all the subcommittees also.
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Okay. So we got public services, facilities, and finance, and now we're at conservation of resources and assignments. So let's see. And that has four committees that go along with that, right?
Yes, there's conservation of resources, general. The subcommittees are historic, cultural, air, greenhouse gas, climate, and then biological and open space.
So, any volunteers or recruits?
So I was wondering, yeah, I don't know, Jenny or Danny or Brian?
Well, I can do it if
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
so Brian's expression. Danny's hard at work right now looking at.
No, that's a good idea, Jeff.
Okay.
Yeah.
And on the vice chair would be the same as land use. We're talking about all 4 committees.
Yeah.
One thing that kind of shifts in here is the, with the new appointment of the council members, Greg Obranovich has been chosen to continue to serve on the planning commission, and the new appointee is Stephanie Youngblood.
Mm-hmm.
And she has also expressed interest in doing anything where she's needed. So if she won't be on the planning commission until that first meeting in March. And I don't know how that works as far as being a vice chairman when you're not seated. But
I mean, one month, honestly, I don't think is going to be too big of an issue. I would hate to have someone else be appointed and not be able to, first meeting is not going to have that much happening on it anyway.
And I just confirmed that particular committee meeting date is the 4th week of the month. So by the time that committee rolls around, she will be serving on the planning commission. Not that I'm trying to throw her out there for committee assignment, but just trying to.
Yeah, let's put her in there. Stephanie Youngblood.
All 4 of them?
For conservation of resources, yeah.
Yep.
And
Okay.
Brian, are you the committee chairman on that?
No, Jeff is.
Okay.
Yeah. So the vice chair, if I'm not there, they'll take the meeting, run the meeting. So she's fine with that as well. Because I know she put in a lot of, as a, I don't want to say free person, but as a non-elected, she had put in, or a non-appointed, she'd put in for a lot of different things.
Yeah.
She
She
realized.
did.
Okay.
I guess I have one question before we go on to our picks. Is this the time to ask it?
Go for
So
it.
if we were not put on as one of the chairs, but we want to serve on one of the committees, do we pick ourselves? Or
It's going to depend if there's other council members on that committee.
well, there's one now.
There's one now, and yeah, you can still serve under that committee. When we get to the 3rd one, it would have to be a non-voting member. If a 3rd council member wanted to be on a committee.
And honestly, I would recommend that you don't have 3 council members sitting on one committee, even if one of them's a non-voting member. I think that is probably a gray line on the Brown Act stuff that we probably don't want to get in a position where we would potentially have a problem.
Well, we're really trying to solicit a lot of different opinions and input. And then the council, the planning commission will get it back to them with all those recommendations.
So
Everybody
I have a question though. I think what Jenny's asking about is economic development, and maybe we should at that one level have, I would be maybe the lead, but maybe we should have a second lead in that one particular part of land use. Can we do that?
For the subcommittee?
Yeah.
Yeah.
So,
I think that might be a really good idea, actually.
so you would remove yourself from the chairing of it and have Jenny chair the economic development?
Yeah, that's fine. I will still attend and be a part of it, but I won't vote if that's what is necessary. But, the more people that we have able to be in the committees, I think is is a positive thing. So that's fine.
Yeah, that's good with me.
Thank you. That's the one I wanted to be on or part of.
Right. Okay. Okay, so you got that, Mary Beth?
I do.
Okay. So we have two more committees for chair and vice chair. That's public health and safety assignments and public health and noise and safety and noise assignments. So.
And then Mary Beth, you're recommending the same chair, vice chair for both, right?
For both, yeah.
Oh, you are for both of them? Okay.
The same category.
Same category, combined together.
Basically, right?
Does everybody have two now? Does Danny need another one? Hey, Danny. Does that sound good?
So we have two, right? We have what, public health and safety and noise.
And noise.
Right.
And our goal is to combine both of those as one committee, but the noise is a subcommittee. So
Okay.
chairman, vice, and then committee members.
Okay, so, and you know I'm half deaf, so the noise committee, I'm not sure if I'm qualified, but I can do public health and safety.
Perfect.
Perfect.
So, and then in terms of planning commissioners, is that equally spread as well?
Well, Greg has one. He's on the housing committee. And Bonnie has all that you're with and with land. And
And Linda is serving on public services.
I think Linda also wanted noise as well. Didn't she ask for those two public? Seems to remember that email saying that she did.
Linda wanted land use, particularly parks and recreation, public services, facilities and finance, and public health and safety.
Okay,
Yeah, so we can put her there.
Yeah,
and just for clarification, so Linda would serve on both the public health and safety and the noise, correct?
Yeah.
All right, understand.
okay. Do we have that all down?
Got it.
And so we should make a motion to approve our choices for the all the committees at this time. I mean, or chair and vice chair.
Or do we do
Chair
it
and
all
vice chair.
at the end?
You can do it either way. It might be good to do the chair and the vice chair motion separate from the actual committee members. That might be a little bit cleaner and easier to track, but
Okay.
either way is okay.
Okay.
You do need to open it up to the public though, if you're gonna be making a motion specifically on the chair and the vice chair.
Okay. Well, if there's no other discussion by council on this, do we have any other discussion at this time? Well, let's open it up to the public then.
Okay, so we'll open it up for public comment. We have Linda Kelly, who is, hang on for 1 second. All right, Linda, you're turned on and you just need to unmute yourself to speak.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Okay, I just went through that and then I forgot I was going to ask you. Sorry. No, I'm fine. Let's see. So I'm on two committees at this point that I see, public service and public health and safety, correct? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay. My question is, will any of the meetings conflict? If I'm on two separate committees, will there be a conflict with those meetings?
No, all of the committees they're offset. So
Okay.
the schedule we put together, although subject to change, 4 weeks a month, and pretty much Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, either 3 p.m. or 6 p.m. based on what element we're dealing with that day.
Okay, that clears it up. I just didn't want, if I was on two different things, I didn't want to miss an important meeting because I was at a different meeting. So I'm glad to hear that they'll be offset. Thanks, that's all I needed.
Thank you, Linda.
All right, thanks, Linda. Any other public comment?
It doesn't look like it. No, it doesn't look like it. There actually were two questions put in chat. I'm gonna just read really quickly. And I don't think they're tied specifically to this, but we should probably answer them quickly. One was, is there a rubric by which committee selections are made? The answer to that is it's council's purview on who they appoint. So it depends on each individual council member and how they want to go through the appointments. And then Miguel asked or said Jenny should be on, and I'm assuming he's talking about the economic development, which she was. So that's all that we got. We don't have any other raised hands for public comment.
Okay. All right. So now we'll get a motion to approve our selections for chair and vice chair.
So moved.
Need a
I'll second. I'll second.
All right, have a motion and a second. Can we get a roll call vote?
Councilmember Baker,
Aye.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley,
Aye.
Mayor Duncan.
Aye. Okay. So now we'll move on to our appointments to the, each committee will go in the same order, starting with circulation. So I just have one question. Are we going to go in a certain order each time for each committee, or is it going to change?
It's like picking dodgeball teams.
Fantasy football, right?
It's however you want to do it. It might be a good idea to rotate the selection so the one person isn't first choice every time. I don't know if Mary Beth, you can do that?
Can do that.
Okay. So if you look at your sheet, maybe we should start the way that it's written right here, and then we'll just kind of flop it next time. So first selection would be Councilmember Baker, then Cartwright, Clark Kretz, Duncan, and then Nisley. And then the next one, we could do it Cartwright, Clark Kretz, Duncan, Nisley, and then Baker. And we'll just keep rotating it through. That way everybody gets the opportunity to pick first.
Okay. That works. Okay, we'll start off with the circulation, and Brian Baker, you're up.
Russ Kelly.
Okay, Danny Cartwright.
Sorry about that. Ed Horton.
Oh, now, wait, I think Ed,
He doesn't live in town.
so I think he could be like auxiliary pick.
Okay. And then let's do Sharon Lee O'Donnell.
If I could just go back a little, Ed he owns property proper in Loomis. He lives outside of town, but he is a property owner within Loomis.
So he can be a voting member.
Okay.
He's not shaded out.
Bad.
Okay, so since he's not shaded out, I assumed he was eligible.
Ah,
All right, you got it.
Okay, so Ed Horton.
awesome.
All right, Jan.
Thor Lude.
All right.
We're doing circulation, correct?
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
I'll pick Hector Wolanski.
And then Jenny, you're up.
Oh, okay. Tim Ondurko.
Okay, so that's it for the circulation. We'll move down to environmental justice. And the first pick will go to Councilmember Cartwright.
Excuse me?
Sorry.
Yes.
For Circulation Committee, the chairman of that committee is Brian Baker, who is currently present. Needs to select an auxiliary member for that committee. And you can, I can do the auxiliaries after and outside of this meeting, if that's easier, because I'm gonna have to call the planning commissioners too.
Yeah, why
I'd
don't we,
rather do the auxiliary separate.
yeah, let's do that separate.
Thank you. So on to environmental justice. And Councilmember Cartwright, you get first pick this time.
And I make sure my columns are lined up here. And we have AJ Moyer.
Thank you. Dan?
E.
Yes, ma'am.
Lorraine Thibod. Thibod. I'm sorry, Lorraine. I'm not sorry that I picked you. I'm sorry I probably did not say your name right.
Then we're on to member Duncan.
Sharon Lee O'Donnell.
Councilmember Nisley.
David Ring.
And Councilmember Baker.
Let's go with Stephanie Youngblood.
Wait,
She's a planning commissioner. Or
Oh.
no, I guess you can pick them, right? Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, land use main committee. And these can float down any way you want. So if you want somebody, if your pick gets on another subcommittee, you can say that at that time and we'll plug them in as we go and see who we're left with.
okay.
Mary Beth, can I ask a question on that?
Certainly.
So again, I'm deaf. Land use has many subcommittees, and you're saying that if one of our choices is picked for a different subcommittee, then I didn't catch that last part.
Oh, what I was trying to say was if your pick is for the main committee, you can also delegate them to serve on a subcommittee or choose a different member as we go forward through those subcommittees.
I understand. Thank you.
And if you'd rather take it committee and then subcommittee by subcommittee, we can do it that way too.
I understand. Thank you.
For this committee, we start with Councilmember Clark Kretz.
Jean Wilson.
Councilmember Duncan.
Beth Cohen.
Councilmember Nisley.
Randy Elder.
Councilmember Baker.
Sharon Lee O'Donnell.
And Councilmember Cartwright.
Can't hear you.
All right. Yeah. AJ Moyer.
Thank you. Now we'll float to the Subcommittee of Land Use for Sierra College Boulevard, northwest of the railroad right of way. And we start with Councilmember Duncan.
Okay, I'll choose Beth Williams-Ruskoff.
What number? I don't recognize the name, I'm sorry.
Oh, let's see.
It's number 51.
Oh, Beth Williams. Okay,
No, yeah,
gotcha.
okay. Yeah. Thank you.
Councilmember Nisley,
John Cuddington,
Councilmember Baker,
Mike Fournier. Number 41.
thank you. Councilmember Cartwright,
Ryan DeMartini.
and Councilmember Clark Kretz.
Scott Toussaint.
Toussaint?
Toussaint.
Number?
31.
There we go. Okay. Land Use Subcommittee, Southeast Interstate 80 Horseshoe Bar Road. And we start with Councilmember Nisley.
I got lost here again. I'm sorry. Let's see. Southeast 180 Horseshoe Bar Road, is that what you said?
Yes.
Miguel Yukovich.
Councilmember Baker,
Ryan DeMartini.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Jared Taylor.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Eden Lee.
Who is that?
Eden Lee.
Oh, wow. Okay.
and Councilmember Duncan.
Gene Wilson.
Land Use Subcommittee, Northwest Interstate 80. Horseshoe Bar Road behind Rayleigh's. And we begin with Councilmember Baker,
Ryan DeMartini again.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Patrick Ponifar.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Jesse Lunsford.
Councilmember Duncan,
Let's see. I'll pick Nancy Nordland.
and Councilmember Nisley.
Number 11, Nicole Redding.
Land Use Subcommittee, Taylor Road Downtown Business Corridor. We start with Councilmember Cartwright,
Jenny Nicely.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Tim and Durko.
Councilmember Duncan,
Maureen Valley.
Councilmember Nisley,
Ryan DeMartini.
And Councilmember Baker. Volume. You're muted.
Russ Kelly.
Land Use Subcommittee, Parks and Recreation. We begin with Councilmember Clark Kretz.
Eden Lee.
Councilmember Duncan.
Joanne Bridges.
Councilmember Nisley.
Catherine Sears.
Councilmember Baker.
Matt Fox.
Councilmember Cartwright.
Okay, just give me a second. Jan took mine, so. Thomas Savage.
Land Use Subcommittee, Economic Development. Councilmember Duncan.
Mark Geyer.
Councilmember Nisley.
Ryan DeMartini.
Councilmember Baker.
Nicole Reedy.
Councilmember Cartwright.
Honikvar, excuse me.
And Councilmember Clark Kretz.
Ashley Summers lives in town now, right? Ashley Summers? She doesn't?
Well,
Oh.
she's a business owner.
Would she qualify? She's
part business owner. I don't know.
And she submitted a statement of interest.
yeah. Well, I'd like to pick Ashley since she's a business owner. Everybody all right with that?
Yeah. Okay. Public Services, Facilities, and Finance. We begin with Councilmember Nisley.
Trying to pick. I'm going to go with Patrick Panna. Yeah, Patrick.
Councilmember Baker.
David Ring.
Councilmember Cartwright.
Hector Wolanski.
Councilmember Clark Kretz.
Joanne Bridges.
Councilmember Duncan.
Jesse Lunsford.
Okay, on to conservation of resources. We start with Councilmember Baker.
Come on, Darko.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Stephanie Youngblood.
oh, she's serving as that committee vice chairman.
You know what? I just now noticed that. Don't worry, I have a backup.
Okay,
Martha Merriam.
You took mine.
I know, it's hard.
Dan, you and I think alike.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
I will take Jean Wilson.
Councilmember Duncan,
Okay, man. Had the same problem here. I'll pick Joanne Bridges.
and Councilmember Nisley.
Number 9, Melissa Netzel.
Okay. Conservation of Resources Subcommittee of Historic and Cultural. We start with Councilmember Cartwright.
Eden Lee.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Maureen Valley.
Councilmember Duncan,
Melissa Netzel.
Councilmember Nisley,
Russ Kelly.
and Councilmember Baker.
David Ring.
Okay, Conservation of Resources Subcommittee, Air, Greenhouse Gases, and Climate. We start with Councilmember Clark Kretz,
David Ring.
Councilmember Duncan,
Maureen Valley.
Councilmember Nisley,
Laureen, I don't know how to say her last name, number 16.
Eden Lee.
Laureen Theobald, I don't know how to say it.
oh, yeah, okay. And just to make sure, the number 16 on my sheet is Marine Valley. Or, I mean, it's Eden Lee.
On the,
Oh, you're looking at the sub list. Okay, you're good.
sorry, okay.
Councilmember Baker,
Sharon Lee O'Donnell.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Joanne Bridges.
thank you. Conservation of Resources Subcommittee, Biological and Open Space. We start with Councilmember Duncan,
Jean Wilson.
Councilmember Nisley,
Jesse Lunsford.
Councilmember Baker,
Come on, Durko.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Stephanie Youngblood.
Wait.
Yeah.
Serve on that committee.
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay. Again, I have choices. I'll just go open space. Hector Wolanski.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
David Ring. Oh, he's not on that one. No, I checked the wrong one, right? I'll pick Lorraine Thibault.
Wait. I think there might be a problem. If Hector Wolanski and Lorraine, are they
Who are they?
from the same household?
I
Or
don't know.
is that an issue? It doesn't matter?
I don't know why it would be.
Okay, I thought that someone had mentioned that we didn't want, I mean, it's fine with me.
Yeah, I mean, as long as they don't end up talking with another member of the committee,
So that means they can't talk to each other while they're at home.
they can talk to each other, but nobody else.
Sorry, guys.
okay, on to public health and safety. And we start with Councilmember Nisley.
Patrick, Ponakar,
Nick Farr.
Councilmember Baker,
Russ Kelly,
Councilmember Cartwright,
John Ireland.
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Paul Ballard.
and Councilmember Duncan.
Mark Geyer. Okay. We have
Public health and safety, noise. And this is
Oh.
our last category. We start with Councilmember Baker.
Paul Bullard.
You know what, you guys? I picked Paul Ballard and he only picked noise. I thought it was the same thing, so we have to go back. Sorry.
Okay.
And you stole my pick, Brian Baker.
My bad.
Jan, let's go. Yeah, go ahead and pick yours for that first one.
The
Public
first,
health and
yeah.
safety.
public health and safety.
All right. Martha Miriam.
Thank you.
All right.
And Councilmember Cartwright for noise.
Carolyn McCullough.
Does she live in town?
No,
Does she-
no, you're right. She does not. Her name is shaded out, so that is a mistake.
Okay,
That's my oversight. I'm sorry.
that's okay.
A lot of lines and stuff.
So I have Bonnie London.
Thank you. Councilmember Clark Kretz.
So we started with Brian, right?
Yes.
Okay, I'm gonna pick Eva Marshall.
Councilmember Duncan,
David Rain.
and Councilmember Nisley.
Stephanie Youngblood.
I don't think you want to have Stephanie on there because you'll have 3 planning commissioners with
Oh, with
you know,
Bonnie.
pick with Bonnie. Yeah.
No, you guys.
Take your time, Jenny. We have.
Yeah, I had numbers. But you guys, yeah. And I'm understanding that Roger Smith is out of the area now. He's no longer, he should be grade, right?
Yes.
He's in Newcastle now.
He could be an auxiliary member for whoever's picking the auxiliary.
Okay, then I'll go with Melissa Netzel.
Okay, that wraps up the committees and subcommittees. And at that, would you like to stop and make a motion and a second to?
Do we need any public comment before we do a motion?
Oh yeah, good point.
We'll open it up to public comment. If you're on Zoom and you want to provide public comment, you want to hit that raise hand button at the bottom of Zoom. If you're on the phone, we do have 1 person on the phone. You'll hit *9 if you'd like to provide a comment. So we have Gene Wilson, you're ready to go. You just need to unmute yourself.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
A couple of questions. One is, what happens if someone declines all or 1 or 2 of the nominations that they've been, if they just find that they can't do all those, how are you going to handle that? And the second one is, what constitutes a quorum? Is it the majority of the voting members, which would be the majority of 7? So it'd be 4 would be a majority. Or is it the majority of the total committee, including auxiliaries, which is 9 people, so the quorum would be 5. So they're just procedural kind of questions that I had.
And okay, number 1, and I was going to get to this because I in doing this tomorrow morning, these committee assignments will go out to the people that have been picked. And Gene, you're accurate. Somebody might say, oh, I can't do that and this. And, if there are multiple committees or, their interest in the beginning was good and life changed or something and they can't now. So in the event that people do not accept these assignments, it will come back to the council for reaffirmation based on who voted for who and who isn't able to participate.
Unless council wants to authorize the council member who loses that person to fill that spot without having to come back. If that was made part of the motion, you could do it that way to kind of preempt a month-long gap of not having somebody on that committee. And honestly, I think that might be a good way to do it, because considering the crunch that we time-wise, not so much on these other committees because they're not to a specific deadline like the housing is, but you are going to have a month of the committee not meeting when they could be. It's up to you, whatever council wants to do.
Say that again, Sean.
I'm thinking that if one person's selection doesn't want to move forward as being part of the committee, that council member who lost that person, whoever's their pick doesn't want to continue, council could make, as part of this motion to approve these selections, part of that motion could also include the ability for a council member to replace their member if that council member's member drops off, and without having to come back to council for reaffirmation, just to keep things moving
Yeah,
for what it's worth.
I think that's easy enough.
I agree.
sounds good.
And
And we'll give you a report out on your next meeting to confirm all of the committee assignments also.
And-
Dates and times and schedule and that kind of thing.
And what was the answer to Gene's question about the quorum?
Yeah.
The quorum would,
Go ahead.
go ahead. No, go ahead.
You know, it's going to be based on the number of people that are in attendance at the meeting, and not the auxiliary members are non-voting members. So out of 7 people, the quorum would be 4 to 3 would be a majority vote.
I will note too that there are new Brown Act rules regarding committees that are appointed by council that are specific to social media, and so we got to watch that too. And we'll be doing a training of all that stuff and how that, you know, how that works. But the attorney will be doing a training about that.
Okay, very good. So at this point, we're going to have a motion and,
We still have a couple more public comments.
oh, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Miguel Yukovic asked, will the sphere of influence be added later? Sphere of influence is controlled by LAFCO. They decide what the sphere is. And so, you know, I think that would be a policy issue that council would need to take up and maybe discuss, but I don't think that you would be part of this general plan update. Because right now our sphere is the town limits. We don't have a sphere of influence that exceeds that. LAFCO would need to allow that. So I think that's something that council could talk about maybe during our strategic planning session or something else, but I don't know that it would be a part of the general plan update.
It may come up in discussion under land use regarding the sphere of influence, but not a specific category related to that.
Right. Let's give it a couple more seconds, Mr. Mayor, for additional public comment and make sure we don't have anybody else.
Okay. So what is the deadline for the auxiliary picks? As soon as possible, or?
I would think you'd want to pick them as soon as possible so that way they can attend the first meeting. So maybe by Monday, probably.
Okay.
It doesn't look like we have any additional public comment.
Yeah, and tomorrow will be all these committee assignments going out, and then the chairman and vice chairman of those committees will get a separate email requesting their auxiliary member picks, and we'll kind of roll it from there.
Okay.
So can I say something before we vote or after we vote, if I have something just to say about the process of, I mean, I just wanted to thank everybody for putting their application in, and we went through all of them, and I really tried to make sure we got a good variety of people and a lot of people involved. So I hope who got picked will come in and start working hard. So.
We have one more public comment that came, Mr. Mayor, if you let me.
Yes, please.
All right, Miguel, you are turned on. You just need to unmute.
Okay, can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
Well, I served on LAFCO, and LAFCO is not the one that determines the sphere of influence. When I brought this question up to LAFCO, LAFCO stated it was up to the town of Loomis to request a sphere of influence.
Right. The town needs to request the sphere of influence. LAFCO decides what it is. If they don't agree with it, they wouldn't do it. And as Mary Beth said, I think the purpose for that would probably be under the land use committee, the general one, and then also talk about it through our strategic planning session to see if that's something that council wants to move forward with. I think the idea of doing it as part of the overall land use committee, though, is probably a good spot for it to land.
Okay, because it was stated that the town would look at the sphere of influence when we did the general plan. So, Paul, the suggestion that you made.
And we've been receiving comments on various elements, whether it's a circulation comment or something like that. And I will add this comment in there under land use with your name attached to it so that it doesn't get overlooked. We're tracking all those comments and we'll be addressing them as we go through committees and things like that. So I'll make sure to make a note for yourself on LAFCO and amending our sphere of influence.
Okay, thank you. Because we're the only town in Placer County that has really no sphere of influence because our town limits are a sphere, so it's not beyond our town limits.
Need to protect our boundaries. Okay, thank you,
Correct.
Miguel.
Okay,
And
thank
I just want to make a comment. I just don't, well, let's go ahead and move back to, if there's no other public comment, let's go back to the motion we need.
I'll make a motion that we approve all of the committee members that we picked for the general plan committee. And that we each, if one of them does not want to do their duty, then we can pick another one without having a formal meeting.
Okay.
I'll second that. I'll second that.
All right, thanks, Jenny. All right, can we get a vote on it?
Councilmember Clark Kretz,
Aye.
Councilmember Nisley,
Yes.
Councilmember Baker,
Aye.
Councilmember Cartwright,
Aye.
Mayor Duncan.
Aye. Okay, I just want to have a clarification. So now that we made our picks and not everyone was picked, they can still participate in meetings and they can send in emails and I don't want anyone to think that they're not welcome, even if they didn't apply as far as being on the committees themselves. So even if you didn't apply, please give us your thoughts on this. There'll be surveys going out. And the other issue is, as long as it's not a Brown Act violation. So, you know, if we're on one committee and we want to go and talk at another committee, we just have to make sure we're not violating any of those Brown Act violations. And we'll have that posted, I'm sure, soon, since these are new laws that you were talking about, right, Sean?
Yeah, the lie I was speaking of is actually specific to social media. And basically it's if somebody posts something, a committee member posts something on social media, Facebook, Twitter, whatever it is, and then one other committee member comments on that, that's considered a violation of the Brown Act. I think it's one more. It's not a quorum the way that it used to be previously. It's literally like two. So kind of the takeaway that I think that our attorney is going to give you is don't talk on social media about the committee work, because we don't want to cause a problem with that.
Okay. All right. Do you have any other questions from
No,
council?
I just have a comment, and I appreciate all of us working together as a team tonight, and all for the greater good of our town. And it was a very positive, pleasant experience. So thank you.
Thank you all.
Thanks.
Look
Okay.
forward to seeing emails in the morning.
All right. So if there's no other business to attend to, I hear none. The meeting is adjourned.
All right. Take
Thank
care,
you,
everyone.
everyone.
Thanks all.